Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a revolution, but it's not happening where you might think. Forget the futuristic labs. This one's happening right in your local council. Yep, from fixing potholes to making calls on benefits, artificial intelligence is now a part of public service, and you can bet it's raising some massive questions.
So you know that old sci-fi idea? Well, it's not sci-fi anymore. It's happening right now. See, local governments are, well, they're stretched. Budgets are tight, workloads are massive. So they're looking to AI to help make decisions, to deliver services. But the really big question is, are we actually ready for what that's going to mean for us?
All right, let's just lay it all out. On one side, you've got councils that are pretty much at a breaking point. Then on the other side, you've got this promise of AI. It's like a magic bullet, right? It promises to turbocharge services, stretch every single taxpayer pound, and maybe, just maybe, make things better for all of us. I mean, if you're a council struggling with cash, that offer is almost impossible to refuse.
And look, this isn't some what-if scenario for the future. It's happening as we speak in towns and cities all over the country. So let's dive in and see what AI is actually doing out there in the real world.
Okay, you're going to want to sit down for this number. A survey from 2024 found that a whopping 70%, that's 70, of UK government bodies are already piloting AI. No, that's not a typo. We're talking 7 out of every 10. So forget on the horizon. This is here, right now, and it's spreading like wildfire.
What's really wild is just how varied all this is. I mean, you've got Blackpool using AI satellites from space to spot potholes. Then in Newham, a chatbot is answering thousands of parking questions. In Wolverhampton, AI-powered CCTV is catching fly tippers in the act. And then you get to something really serious, like in Hackney, where they trialed a system to try and predict which families might need social support. You see, this stuff is touching every single part of local government, from everyday annoyances to deeply personal, life-changing situations.
Okay, but here's the catch. And it's a big one. What happens when we have no idea how the machine is actually making its decisions? This is where that shiny dream of efficiency, well, it crashes right into the nightmare of what's called the black box.
Yeah, that's the term for it in the tech world, the black box problem. Basically, the AI takes in a bunch of data and spits out a decision. But the steps it took in between, the why, it can be a total mystery. And that creates a huge problem for the things we expect from good government. You know, like transparency and accountability.
And listen to this. This is from a UK Supreme Court document, so it's a big deal. They're saying this whole digital revolution challenges the very idea of good government. Think about it. The highest courts in the land are wrestling with this. If an algorithm says no to a service you need, but nobody, not a single person can tell you why, how do you fight that? Where do you even start to argue that the decision was unfair?
And just to be crystal clear, this isn't some abstract debate. These black box systems are already out there, making huge calls that affect real people's lives. The Home Office used one to assign risk ratings to visa applications. The DWP used an algorithm to decide which benefits claims to investigate. We're not talking about sorting mail here. These are absolutely life-altering decisions.
And this is where it gets really, really dangerous. You know that old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, with AI, it's more like garbage in, garbage squared out. If the data you feed an AI is packed with all our old human biases, and let's be honest, it usually is, the AI doesn't just copy them. Oh no, it learns them, it amplifies them, and then it makes biased decisions at a speed and scale that is frankly terrifying.
So you can see how all of this is turning into a massive legal maze for councils. They're trying to find their way through, but honestly, it's a total minefield.
And as if that wasn't enough, there's a whole new problem popping up, something called shadow AI. It sounds a bit sinister, right? And it kind of is. This is when employees, maybe just trying to get their work done faster, start using public AI tools without any official green light or any kind of oversight.
Just picture it for a second. An employee pastes sensitive notes from a council meeting into a free online AI to get a quick summary. They don't realize it, but they could be leaking confidential data out into the world. Or they might end up creating official policies based on a flawed AI-generated summary. The potential to just shatter public trust is immense.
And all of this is going on while the regulatory net is getting tighter and tighter. You have GDPR, which put simply says you can't just grab people's data and do whatever you want with it. Then you have Article 22, and this one is so important.
It gives people the legal right to have a human look at any major decision made by a machine. And coming soon is the big one, the EU AI Act, which is going to clamp down hard on any AI system that's considered high risk. So yeah, the Wild West days, they're coming to an end.
Okay, so the stakes are obviously incredibly high. So how on earth can councils use this powerful technology safely? How do you get all the good stuff without walking straight into all these traps?
Well, the way forward seems to be all about building a framework of trust. The government has actually put out some core principles to guide everyone, and it all boils down to a few key ideas. Being responsible, having a real human in control at the right moments, and being open about what you're doing. It's really about making sure there's always a person in the loop, especially when the decisions really matter.
And to make this happen in the real world, there are now official guides, like the government's AI playbook. The whole point of these is to try and connect the dots, to bridge that massive gap between the crazy fast tech, the complicated laws, and, the basic ethics of serving the public.
A really big part of this whole strategy is something called data protection by design. It's a simple idea, really. You don't build a car and then try to figure out where the brakes go. You build the safeguards in from the very start. Things like only using the absolute minimum data you need, being totally upfront about why you need it, and, this is the big one, always making sure a human can step in and override the machine.
And all of this leads us to one final question. It's probably the most important question of all as we head into this more automated future. And it has nothing to do with code or algorithms, really.
When an AI gets it wrong, who's accountable? Is it the person who coded it? The council that paid for it? The public servant who clicked accept on its recommendation? As we let algorithms take the wheel on more and more of our public services, we absolutely have to have a rock-solid answer to that question. Because at the end of the day, if there's no accountability, there can be no trust.